session. All right, so this is our last session. After this session, that is it. Feel me? Uh, so we spoke about support level, resistance levels, open close levels, and everything, and how to map them out. And we talked about rejections. We talked about how what rejection is, what a break is, and all of that. And I spoke about the time frames we need to pay attention to last night. So now today is our final day. We're going to piece everything we've talked about since Monday till today. So we're going to be talking about how you can form a bias and how you can approach the market, right? How you can approach the market. So for the time frames I gave you people last night, right? You need to pay close attention. Remember what I said, the first three time frames, the first three modules I gave you guys, which was weekly, which was monthly, weekly, sorry, yearly, monthly, and weekly. That's for swing traders. Then weekly, daily, and 4 hour or so. That's for like intraday traders, day traders, and the likes. You get. All right. So, how do you formulate your bias? How do you approach the market? How do you take trades? So it's simple. I would say when you open the chart, the first thing I'm going to say is higher time frames are very important. All right, never neglect higher time frames. The higher the time frames, the better your trades. All right, now if you pay attention closely to what I'm saying, why most of you don't pay attention to higher time frames is because you are impatient, number one, and number two, you're trying to make quick money from trading, or number three, there is a need for you to make money. So when there's a need for you to make money, or need for you to show off or give off some sort of validation and stuff like that, that basically like is going to give off you taking trades you're not supposed to take so that you can post, so that people can be like, oh, this trader knows how to trade, or this person knows how to do this thing. Trading is you versus you, all right? All right, so I'm not going to talk too much because this is not mentorship. So I'm just going to teach you the technical so that you can understand. Now, higher time frames are very, very important. All right. So if you come into the charts day in, day out, you need to pay attention to the daily and the 4 hour. All right. So you want to see your rejections on the daily and the 4 hour. All right. So when you see a rejection on the daily, so when price taps into a level on the daily time frame, you have to wait for that daily candle to close before you can confirm your rejection. But if you're on the 4 hour, you have to wait 4 hours for each candle to form, right? So when it is a new week, I always advise, even if you decide to be a day trader or intraday trader, I'll always advise, right? I'll always advise that when it is a new week, look at the weekly time frame so that you can understand if the market is currently if the market rejected a level the previous week, all right, or broke a level the previous week, so that you can understand where the market is going to go to the next of the week, all right, the next level price will go to for the rest of the week, all right. So give our illustration. So let's give our illustration using um, let's give our illustration using let's use BTC USD, right? Let's use there was a sales setup I sent to you guys on BTC in the Telegram channel. So, all right, this was the setup. All right. So if you look at this was where we got the sales setup from. All right. Now this is an open close level, and the first thing, our first rule is what? For price to reject, right? So you see, price tapped into this open close level and rejected. This candle did not close above. All right, this candle did not close above this open close level. All right, so since price rejected open close level, the idea is after we get the rejection on the 4 hour, I want to go to the 1 hour. Remember that was the same rule I gave you yesterday. So when you go to the come to the 1 hour, you want to start, since we rejected a resistance level, because that's a bearish open close level, so that's a resistance level. So you might be like, oh, this is the 1 hour, this candle like closed above. That's not your business, all right? Because on the 4 hours, it actually rejected. So on the 1 hour, you want to find the support, the last support before this rejection move. And this is the last support before this rejection move. Why? Because we rejected the resistance level. We want to see price break what? A support level. So we can see a break. So a break is the reverse of rejection. All right. So a break is when price actually closes below. All right. So you can see this candle closes below this. All right, this candle closes below this. So now you formulated your bias from the 4 hour time frame. So remember what I said? So since we saw our rejection on the 4 hour, We're going to be taking our trades with the idea, right? Remember, I said price moves from one support level to another resistance level, from a resistance level to a support level. Keep that at the back of your mind. All right. So now we rejected an open close level and we broke on the 1 hour. So that means the next point we want to see price go to is a 4 hour support. So we have this resistance level that has been broken that is now support. If you pay attention to this, you also have this here, but price did not come back to that point. But you have to pay attention to what the market is currently printing. So this is the next level, all right, we can see. But if you pay attention to this, it looks like as if this candle has already tapped into it. This has already tapped into it too. So most times, this is where you can go to like the 4 hour or the 2 hour and then refine, and you see a level within that point. All right. So within that same 4 hour level, we have this 1 hour open close, which is very valuable. And that no, no, that's not our point. This is where we got tapped in for our rejection. I've not done my trading view yet, so I can't use the replay tool. So let's go back here first. All right, let's go back here. This is the next level that me I can see because this price has already tapped into this. All right, so we come back to the 1 hour. This is our entry. So the next level we can see is this open close level and also this open close level. So taking your trade, you're not taking your trades with the idea that you want price to come and take out this low. No. All right, that's not you're not taking your trades with that idea. No, that's not what you're doing. So you're going to be taking your trades based off this resistance level. Why? Because this is the resistance level that initiated this push down that broke this support. So that's going to be your entry, short position right there. So your stop loss is always supposed to be on your rejection high. Never assume where your stop loss should be. Never try that. Most of you always be like, oh, I'll give it 50 pips stop loss, or I'll give it 20 pips stop loss. Price is not supposed to go more than 20 pips. You're not the one that moves the market. So even me that trades, even while using the rejection high as my stop loss, I still give it a little bit of breathing space because the market can do whatever it wants to do. And this trade ended up giving 1 is to 3.7. All right, this is 3.8. So it ended up giving us 1 is to 3.71. I posted it on the Telegram channel. You guys saw it. So the first rule was what rejection. So we had a rejection on what on the 4 hour, and then we had a break on the 1 hour, and then we took our trade based off the level that initiated our break, and then we targeted the next 4 hour or the next 1 hour level, and then we take our profit. And you can see immediately when price gets to that level, we reversed immediately. So let's give another example, which is going to be with let's give it with the XAUSD buys we took. I posted yesterday. So let's delete this. So this particular setup, for most of you, will be like, okay, this trade was supposed to give us 10 hour. That's the truth. I was trying to actually test out something new. That's why I use this as my entry. Gold always likes going to the extreme. I still learn. That's the thing with most of you. Most of you don't learn. Me, I still learn. So I want to see what will happen if price was actually going to mitigate this, but it did not. So let's just use this. So there are two examples I'll show you guys. So the first example is this. So you can see we have this open close level here. And what does it do on the 4 hour? It rejects. All right. It rejects on the 4 hour. Our first rule has been met. On the 1 hour, we want to see price break a support. So you can see if you look at this is where we had our rejection, and then this is a support level, bearish and bullish candle support, right? So price has broken it. You can see this next candle closes below this, so it has broken, and this is the resistance level we're supposed to take our trade from. But unfortunately, price did not come back there. That happens a lot, right? Because entries can be overly precise and all of that. So price did not come back there, but you can see it tanked very nicely, and it went to the next 4 hour. All right. So you would have targeted this or this, but this is the overall point it went to, and then we got the rejection from there. So you can see this candle tapped into this 4 hour support, rejected. This candle did not close below this, so it's rejected. And on the 1 hour, we had a break of this resistance level. All right, we had a break of that resistance level. So initially, my rule is we are supposed to take our trade if there's an open close level before the support or the resistance. In this case, there's an open close before the support, so we'd have taken our trade from here. So, but gold is one commodity that makes a whole lot of sense, and it likes going to the extreme levels, right? So pay attention to this. Price came back to the extreme support. And you see what I was saying? If you're the type of person that likes second guessing or like predicting, oh, the market is not going to go that deep, I'll place my stop loss at this point, you're going to cry. All right, follow simple rules. So this is our rejection low. You can see how price, you can see how close price was coming back to our stop loss, almost taking us out. So you see, that have been your entry, and your stop loss will be that rejection low. But for me, like I always do, I'll give you a few pips, right? Few pips is not going to harm you, and you can decide to use the next 1 hour or the next 4 hour. But for me, since we use this first point, it aligned perfectly with the next 4 hour level, like I am, which was like at a premium level, was this open close for me, and that was our take profit. Right, that would have been our take profit, and if we had used that to be our entry, we would have gotten a clean 1 is to 12. But since we use this as our entry, it gave us a 1 is to 3. So you can see different, not really different, but it gave us, I think, exactly 1 is to 3. And we still made money, all right? We still made money. So this is the simple rules, right? Simple laid out rules. So now, if you want to pay attention to what is currently happening now on gold, all right, so let's go back to the 4 hourly time frame. So yeah, on the 4 hourly time frame, we have this support, this resistance level here. But if you pay close attention, there's really nothing that we can see price rejecting at this point. All right. So when you can't really see what price is rejecting at this point in a situation like this, what you do is you go to the higher time frame, because the higher time frame is always going to show you something. Right. The higher time frame is always going to show you something. So if you look at this on the higher time frame, looking at this like here currently, there is really nothing we are seeing on the on these two. But if you use your eye from what I've taught you to, this is an open close level, and it's fresh because you can see we had multiple touch points. This final candle broke it, so it is now fresh. And since uh, we have that, right? Price currently rejected that, but now we can't take a trade from that particular level now. Why? The reason why we can't take a trade from that particular level now is because the daily time frame has not closed yet. The daily candle has not closed yet. So we can't say we have a rejection yet. All right. This candle is still forming, as you can see. It has not closed yet. But let's say this particular candle closes like this. So it does not close above this level. It has rejected. And as you can see on the 4 hour, there is a break. So we have a break of this support. So we'll take our trade from this resistance level. All right. And since we're taking our trade from the daily, a rejection from the daily, we're targeting the next daily level, which can be this open close level or this support level. So that is how you frame your bias, and that is how you take trades. That is how you use support and resistance. Now, from what I said on the first day, which was on Monday, you are not going to um, understand all of this immediately. All right. When I slated this class for 4 days, is this, yeah, this 4 days. When I selected this class for 4 days, most of you were like, oh, it's not supposed to be 4 days, it's supposed to be more than. It can be more than 4 days because I gave everybody inside here, aside those that are in the general mentorship, right? Every other person that came from the free Telegram channel, I gave you all an open offer, or I gave you guys ridiculous amount of offers, like crazy amounts that you, like normally I'm not supposed to get to teach. But I did that, and this is the best I can do for you. All right. 4 clean days of at least 30-minute session, taking my time to explain. So that is that for how I trade, how I approach the market, and how I view things. So I'm going to open the floor for questions now. Then after questions, I'll make the announcement. Then after announcement, we are done with the class. So if you have any question, you can see in the chat that you have a question, and I will allow you unmute yourself and you ask your question. So does anybody have any question for me? All right. So the first person that has a question that I saw his chat is Kwame Fiesta. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, Rondo, good evening.
Yes. Good evening.
Okay, I was asking how to approach the market from your weekly time frame, from the weekly time
Same
frame down
rule.
to the 4.
Same rule. You're not going down to any. It's the same rule. You see a rejection on weekly, so the weekly candle has to close. You see a rejection on weekly, you go to daily, and you must see a break on daily. Then when you get that break on daily, you look for the level that initiated that break. Then you map out that level and you take your trades from there, or you refine that daily level to 4 hour. All right, simple. That's why I said all those weekly rejections and all is for swing traders. If you're a swing trader, all right. So I've answered your question.
Yeah, please.
All right. So next person is Temi Tokwe. So you can meet yourself.
Hello, good evening, Rondo.
Yeah.
My question is that let's assume we frame our buyers now and we see setup on 4 hours, but the price didn't come back and do another setup.
You focus on what price is
So
current. You
which one are
focus
we
on what
going
you focus on what the market is currently showing you. Very simple.
to? Okay.
So the next person that has a question is Song. Song, you can meet yourself and ask your question.
Hello, good evening, boss.
Yes. Don't call me boss. Call me
Yeah,
Rondo.
I said, I call you boss for the last day. You have tried for us.
You can ask your question.
Okay, bro. My question is based on our support and the resistance. Do
Yes.
we consider market structure when we are doing this?
I don't. I don't really consider market structure like that.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't.
okay,
All right.
okay. Thank
So
you.
yeah. Next person that has a question is Victor Peter. So Victor Peter, you can meet yourself and ask your question.
Yeah. Good evening, Rondo.
Yes, evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
can. I can. I can.
Um, based on, based on what you said now about rejection, that we should wait for our daily candle to close before you will know whether you rejected. Is it that if we see a trade or if we see another rejection, like on the 4 hour and break on the 1 hour, should we take the trade or we should just wait for the daily candle to close?
You have to wait. If the daily actually is in a, if the daily is in a, if the daily taps into a daily level, you wait. That is very simple. If the daily taps into a daily level, you wait. You can't contradict. If the 4 hour taps into a 4 hour level, but the daily is not in any daily level, yes, you can take a 4 hour trade. If the daily taps, let's say the daily taps into a daily level, and there is the 4 hour is not currently in any. Let me give you a clear instance. This is what is currently happening on gold. On the 4 hour now, there's no reason because, like I said, this is a resistance level. We can't see any place price tapped into on the 4 hour for us to take our for we to consider why this resistance level is formed. But when we went to the daily, price is currently tapping into a level. Now, these buys I sent yesterday, price did not come from any daily level, but we have price reject to this 4 hour level. So you have to just be like you have to study more. That's just the truth. But if price is not currently in any particular time frame level, but it is on another time frame level and it has rejected, follow the rules. If it is 1 hour, wait for your break on 30 minutes. If it is 4 hour, wait for your break on 1 hour. If it is the daily, wait for your break on 4 hour. If it is the weekly, wait for the break on your daily. Simple.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Yeah. So the next person here, we're almost done. It's like 9 minutes more. Someone said, "Can you give more?" I can't give more examples. You would go to my YouTube channel. You'd see all my trade recaps and all of that. You'd see. So the next person, Victor Akade, has a question. So please just be fast. We have less than 8 minutes. Just be fast. We have less than 8 minutes.
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So my question is this, like, how do you invalidate your trade setup? Like,
I invalidate my trade setups when it hits 5 p.m. So if price does not do what I want and it's 5 p.m., like I won't reason it again. Because the next day price can go and tap into a daily resistance or daily support and then reject, and I'm still holding that setup. Before you know it comes to that setup and then takes me out. So you have, when it is a new day, just check the daily. Is price
okay,
currently in any level or stuff like that?
okay, thank you.
All right. So the next person that has a question is Usman. Usman, you can mute yourself and ask your question. Is Usman here? So we'll go to the next person. Adhering to top band concept. You mute yourself and ask your question.
I just want to know what is the impact of news on the strategies?
I don't pay attention to news. Why I don't pay attention to news is because if your bias is correct, like when I used to trade SMC, right, structure and all of that, once your structure is correct, the news only serves as a catalyst, right? Most people think the news is going to change the structure of the market. No, if market is bullish, it's going to go. The news is just going to help you push it higher. If the market is bearish, news is just going to help you push it lower. Simple. So I hope I've answered your question.
Thanks.
All right. So one more person is saying, please, Rondo, can you explain the? No, I can't explain the break again. I explained the break yesterday. I explained it today. That means you joined late and you've not been watching the videos. So I said I was going to make an announcement